So in last week's episode, we got to meet Frank Flat, which is a longtime friend of McGrath's, Antonio Hernandez, which he doesn't like to be called anymore. And so this week's episode is going to be from both perspective of Frank Flat and McGrath. It's going to be, I guess, kind of a Tarantino type thing. So I hope you enjoy. Batman McGrath, Episode 3, Truth About Heroes. 1 week later, under an old warehouse in Portland, Oregon, 9:45 a.m. Frank Flat. So it's been a week since I last saw McGrath. I tried pulling up files on Antonio because I knew I would be asked for them, but for some reason I couldn't find anything on him. No birth, no marriage. Everything about him was cut out of the reports in Gotham. I asked how that could have happened, and they didn't even know, but they said they would look into it. I was sitting in a room with a window overlooking the gym where the newbies were working out, getting ready to meet this new hero trainer of theirs. In the room I was in, there was the other instructors, Commissioner Phillips, who had the idea for all this, and Chief DeWitt. Now, of course, they had questions about McGrath, but I told them, I have no answers for you. He wants to keep his identity private. Well, good for him, but that's not how this works. Why does he want to be so secretive anyways? The chief asked, pissed off. But truthfully, lately he had always been pissed off. I don't know, 'cause he's the hero expert or some shit. I mean, they don't exactly go around flaunting their names everywhere, I replied, frustrated, trying to buy time for either me to think of a good reason or for McGrath to show up and explain himself. Yeah, well, I want to know who he is. Find out, or he's off this. Where is he anyways? He's almost 2 hours late. You told him 8 a.m., right? The chief asked. 8 a.m. sharp, I reply. After another good 30 minutes of getting yelled at by everyone in the fucking room, we hear the door open in the gym. Where the door is, we can't exactly get a good look at who it is, but I know it's him. We hear some wrestling around of some sort, and then he walks into our field of view. Alright, maggots, line up! And just like that, all the newbies line up as McGrath staggers close to them, holding a giant bottle of Jim Beam. And I sit down and I think about what type of job I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. He then starts to guzzle down the booze as all the newbies look around at each other, wondering what to do. One of them says, sir? He puts his finger up, and as he gets to the end of the bottle, he starts to do this kind of slow turn. And halfway turned around, he finishes off the bottle and lets out a, whoo yeah! He then quickly finishes his turn, and with all of his might, throws that empty bottle at one of the newbies, hitting him in the head. Everyone stares, shocked. And I just put my gun and badge on the table, ready to be fired. McGrath then attacks all the newbies. Quick, get some officers in there now, the commissioner yells out. I sit there and realize how crazy all this is and pull out a flask and just start drinking, just waiting for all of this to end. McGrath, 1 week later after accepting the job from Flat, 10:15 a.m. Still hungover from drinking last night. Haven't really slept the past couple days. Truthfully, I haven't been sleeping much since Gotham. One of the bikers named Ted drops me off at this, what looks like an old abandoned warehouse. You gonna need a ride back? He asked. No, I'll be fine, although do let the old timer know that I'm gonna be a couple weeks before I get back. He nods and then drives off. Kinda surprised that he didn't ask me why I have a giant bottle of Jim Beam with me. I walk into this place and I see some old homeless guy sitting by the door. Hey, is this where they're doing the training for the new Batman? I ask. Dude, the fuck do you not understand about a goddamn secret? He quickly replies. I laugh and I tell him sorry and then tell him that I'm McGrath. And then he asks me for my ID. Huh? Oh yeah, sure, hold on. I act like I'm looking through my pockets and then punch him in the face, knocking him out. I stare at him as he's lying there and then kind of shrug and go to open the door, but it won't open. That's when I notice that there's a hand reader by the door. I grab the knocked out undercover and place his hand on the reader and the door opens. Fucking seriously? I muttered to myself while chuckling. I walk for a bit down a hallway and down some stairs, and then I see a female doctor and I ask her where the new recruits are. She gives me this kind of puzzled look and points to the door labeled gym. I nod and walk into the gym. First thing I see is a bunch of young fresh-faced kids lifting weights and sparring with each other. Next to the door is some spare weights and I use them to barricade the door. After that, I start walking towards these kids and I yell, "All right, maggots, line up!" And they quickly do. I notice this pretty blonde looking boy and I decide, yeah, he's gonna be my bitch today. I quickly take the bottle of Jim Beam straight to the head, guzzling it down as fast as I can. The blonde pretty boy I had picked out tries to talk. Sir? I interrupt him by putting my finger up. I start to do this turn, and halfway through the turn, I finish off the bottle and I yell out, "Ooh, yeah!" Then chuck the bottle as hard as I can at the pretty boy's head. It hits him right in the forehead and then shatters. Everyone looks at me puzzled, and that's when I stomp down on one of the other's knees, breaking it instantly. The others come at me. I punch the first two, flip one over me, break another's arm, and then start throwing punches at the rest. I can hear cops trying to bust open the gym door. I quickly pull a gun from behind my back. A couple more of these kids come at me and try to stop me, but I just pistol whip them. All the kids are around me, laying on the ground, cringing in pain, yelling in pain. I get on top of the pretty boy I'd picked out earlier. He's holding his bloodied face, and I stare him right in the eye as I put the gun to his head. You want to be a fucking hero? You want to be a goddamn fucking bat? Well, guess what? There's no happy endings for bats. There's no glorious deaths for bats. The best you can hope for is some fucking clown takes pity on you and puts one right between your fucking eyes. But what you'll most likely get is watching your friends and your family carved and cut right in front of your fucking eyes. And the last thing you see or hear is someone you love more than anything dying, screaming in pain, knowing you failed them, you couldn't protect them, and before that fucking psycho finally fucking kills you, they laugh and tell you it's all your fault because you're a piece of shit fucking bat. I see the fear in his eyes as he starts to tear up and cry, pleading to whatever God he might believe in. And then I lean in close and I whisper, I'm going to find the person you love. I'm going to rape them. I'm going to tell them how I killed you. And then I pull the trigger. Click. His eyes open wide, and the cops burst in and quickly surround me. I set the gun down and get on my knees, put my hands behind my head, and let them arrest me. The whole time I'm being arrested and read my rights, I'm staring at that pretty boy as he's crying and whimpering like a baby. They bring in that doctor from before to tend to all their wounds, and the chief comes in, cussing me out and yelling and screaming. You're finished. You're going to fucking prison. Get that fucker out of here now. Flat, you're lucky I don't fucking fire you too. Flat looks at me disappointed as I pass him, and I tell him, trust me. And I get let out and taken to jail. Well, that is the end of this episode. I hope you guys do enjoy. Sorry if there's like some audio problems per se. I had to keep stopping, and so there was some other shit. But hopefully next ones will be a lot better and everything. Please like, subscribe, all that if you are interested into hearing more and everything. Um, and yeah, leave a comment. Let me know what you think, and you guys have a nice day. Bye bye.